Okay, you can see me making faces at the screen. How
Oh no,
fun.
I'm busy seeing messages on the other one.
Yes.
I'm in Discord sending messages real fast. Okay, we'll let them all in.
Let
Oh, hang on,
everybody
I'm
in
taking
except
out
the
note
note
takers.
takers.
Oh, he's down to 2 now. It's usually 5.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, all right, admit all. Here they come. Here they come, walking down the
Wow,
street.
your office is looking very office-like.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
How
How
are we
are
all
you?
this
Good morning.
morning?
Good morning.
It's a great morning.
It's
It
a super
is.
fantastic sparkling morning.
Super
Its stars are
fantastic
still
and
out.
sparkly morning.
It's a
Oh,
snowy morning here.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
Well, I still have stars twinkling in the sky. They're my sparkles. So it's 6 o'clock in the morning here, and yeah, I can't open my curtains till around 7. Otherwise, I'm broadcasting to everybody in the neighborhood. They'll get to see straight
What
into
is
my
that
office.
behind you, Helen? The picture?
That is from my cruise planner days. It is a there was actually only 2 of those in existence, and I actually won it at a cruise planners conference, and I won it in their raffle, and it was like, spend $20 and get like 30 tickets or something like that, and you write your name on them and then stick them in the bowls next to whatever it is you want to win. And
Ah,
so yeah, so I did that one time. I don't know if I can't change it to show you the whole thing, but it's a stack of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 suitcases. But I didn't want the cruise planners thing at the top showing. And
that's
because
so
of how
cool.
small the room is, I needed to hang it higher, because if I hung it lower, it would make the room look tinier than it is.
What airport it was, but they had a sculpture that was made out of thousands, probably thousands of suitcases, just all piled up and stuck
Yep.
together. And it's kind
Yep.
of cool.
Love that. Absolutely love that. So yes, that's from my cruise planner days. But I love the picture. I've always loved the picture. So I kept it. I didn't sell it. I could have sold it for a lot of money, but didn't.
so I just want to know, is 6 suitcases enough?
Well, I arrived. My parents, when they met me at the airport, I had 4 suitcases that were checked and 2 carry-ons.
Wow.
Yes. And then 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago? Yeah, 2 weeks ago, my 264 boxes arrived.
And how's
And I
that
use the
coming?
word boxes for everything, because some were just wrapped in packing paper and that sort of stuff. So packages, boxes, however you wanted to describe them. Yes.
Wow,
And I
how
have now
fun.
unpacked some of my books onto my bookcase. But there's still a few boxes to go through. In fact, my brother's coming over today and we're opening up all the boxes marked books, because we've discovered that they put books on things, and you open the box, there's like 5 books in there and a whole bunch of other stuff. So we're going to open all 109 boxes marked books and see what we have. Because I know I do not have enough books to fill 109 boxes. I have a lot of books, but not to fill 109 boxes. Anyway, that's not what we're here for today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Terza,
Welcome.
over to you.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Open Office Hour with Terza and Helen of Zanakin Studio. We are the co-founders of Zanakin Studio. And for our Open Office Hour, we cover things open AI. And so I want to welcome everyone here. I'm thrilled that you're here, and absolutely love getting a chance to talk to people all over the world. Well, because, Helen is on a different part of the planet, so. And we have
And
someone
don't
else.
forget Hope in Canada.
We have Hope in Canada, and she said it's raining where she is in Toronto. So,
At least it's
which is,
better than snow. Gotta wash away all that snow.
oh, I
But
don't know. I like the snow. Evelyn
well,
and I just have a little bit of snow.
Yeah,
And
and we need it desperately.
we need
So
a lot more.
Colorado's happy. Yeah, Denver area is really happy to see some moisture.
Yes. Yes. So, I'd like to welcome everyone. First thing up is I will ask people to share what they have been working on uh, for this past week, and then I will share the latest AI news. There's all kinds of juicy things, but more than the juicy things, there's a lot of really cool stuff available to all of us. And then Helen and I have a couple of tools we'd like to share with you, if that's all right. And as always, ask questions. Jump right in there. Peggy, go ahead.
You asked to share. So it only took me 9.5 hours to get, who's the copyright? The Penny?
Penny does blogs. If you're talking about,
Blog.
is that what you meant? Yes.
9.5 hours.
Wow. Wow.
For me, she just won't follow instructions.
That can be difficult when you have a very specific set of instructions, and you should. And I'm glad you're sharing your experience. But is she working for you now?
Well, I finally got that one done and I
Okay.
told her where to post it and she came back and said she couldn't post it at Huffington Post. I don't know why. I do have to follow up a little more with that. But all I needed her to do was she had made a really nice image
Hmm.
and then she changed it.
Oh
Like there
dear.
were no instructions to change it. And it took me 4.5 hours to get her to get that original one back.
Oh wow. Wow.
There was no instruction about changing the image. I told her
Right.
what to create. She created really nice. And then when I was going through and editing and having her change text, she decided she would change the image too.
Oh my gosh.
Like I'm telling you, I mean, I could have done something really fun with that 4.5 hours.
I bet you
Like
could.
played in my garden, you know. And I don't understand why, what it is about all of these AIs. Like they are not supposed to be thinking at the time of edit.
Hmm.
They're
That is an
creative,
interesting. Yeah.
right? We ask them to create something and then we edit. And at the time of edit, maybe that has to be a prompt. When we're
Yes.
editing, do not recreate anything unless instructed.
I would be happy to go over some of these things with you in a private session, Peggy. Would you like that?
Just rather give it to you to do. Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's another possibility as well, but let's start from the beginning. So, all right, you and I will
Thank
connect
you.
a little bit after this call.
Peggy,
So,
one
to
real
set up a
short
time.
thing from, we use now our apps are generally smart enough to save as they go. Like if you're editing a Word document, it used to be if you lost power or something, you would lose everything. And now, they save it as they go. But AI doesn't do that. So I just keep version after version after every time I get something significant that I like, I copy it and I save it into some sort of document, Word or Pages, and then I go on from it. And then I'm saving version one, version two, version three, and then I just go back and I delete all the stuff I don't need anymore. But I rarely trust AI to remember anything for me because that just happens. And it's with a computer, it's just so easy to do. Just say, hey, I really like that. Let's copy it and save that, and then move on because you can always bring them back if you've saved the image or you saved the text that you really liked. You can always just reset them back to where you wanted them to be.
Yes, this is true, Gary, for the LLMs like, ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude. It's not necessarily true of the Marbleism agents. They need a little bit different handling. So
Ah,
Peggy's complaint about Marbleism is valid, and I'm glad to go over that with her. Um, and then whatever I can will generalize out of our conversation, I'll bring back here next week.
And I did send that off to, because there's a human involved, Samuel in this case. I did send an email. I did strike the about how I wanted to murder and strangle Penny. I
Oh
did delete
dear.
that part before I sent it.
That's good. Did Samuel get back to you?
He didn't answer everything, but yeah, they always get back. He did get
Okay,
back.
that's good.
Thank you.
All right. Emmeline,
Hey,
what's
good
new?
morning, everybody. So, my attention pretty much this last week has been dealing with insurance and failure for getting the medical attention that I need in a timely fashion. And, when it takes 6 months to get an appointment just to talk to the doctor about an MRI, it's totally unacceptable. And so I'm my goal this week, and I'll get on to my other thing, is to try to get a patient advocate to help me. But 2 different appointments that I flew all the way back to Colorado to get. And then one of them, I still don't have an appointment, and they said it would be August before I could get my cataract surgery. And I'm practically blind in one eye. And so I'm very frustrated, needless to say. But in between that, Terza was trying to help me. I was working not with marbleism, but with taking a long video that I have on YouTube and cutting it up into shorts, because apparently YouTube really likes shorts these days. And then the issue I was having, because I work on my computer, that it didn't allow me to do a thumbnail. And so Tirza and I were trying to work it back and forth, and I couldn't get my phone to recognize it so that I could upload a thumbnail. So I ended up, I got a hold of, who did I get a hold of? It was, oh, I know, it was Debbie Morrow from, because she does a lot on YouTube. And this is for you, Tirza, or anybody else that's doing this. The way to do the get around, not having to use your phone, for those of us that prefer to use our computers, take your thumbnail that you create in the format that is typically a thumbnail, and you put it in front of your video, and then upload the whole thing to YouTube. And it doesn't, and it'll show, but it's not showing as quote a thumbnail. It's the beginning, but it accomplishes the same thing. So anyway, I wanted to share that with everybody as we're trying all these different AI things. So
Very, very clever. Thank you so much for sharing that.
yeah, no problem.
A little bit later, Helen will be sharing with us one of her video tools. And if we have a little bit of time, I'll share my experiences with vidIQ. Uh, Neither of which, well, I'll leave it at that. We'll go on from there. Anyone else before I do the quick AI news announcements? Nancy.
Real quick, gosh, it's probably been a month now, but one of folks had talked about music, and she wasn't able to sing anymore, but she was able to clone her voice and use Suno. I didn't try to sing or clone my voice, but I did create a theme song for my studio,
Oh, wow. How cool.
and there's not a lot of use for it because it's 3+ minutes. But they then this week created a video to go with it. So I created a whole bunch of images and put the video all together. And I'm just tickled pink to have a theme song.
Oh, nice. Hey, would you share the link for it in the chat so we can
Yep,
all have a
Sure.
chance?
Oh, please do.
That'd be
Please do.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, I'd love to. Thank you. I didn't even think about that. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Helen.
Okay, so this week I have been having a lot of fun with ChatGPT. Uh, on Thursday last week at our mastermind call, we were challenged to use ChatGPT as a therapist and come up with some different, asking if we're actually in the right business. So while we're on the call, I go in and I go to ChatGPT and basically say, hey, I'm on my mastermind call right now, and we're being challenged to find out if we're in the right business. So what would be a good prompt for us to ask ChatGPT this question? And so we can dig deep into who we are and how we're wired and what niche we should be in and all of that sort of stuff. So it came up with 2 prompts, a basic prompt to start with and then an advanced prompt. I have probably spent about 10 hours over the last week answering questions from ChatGPT, and I've shared some of them with Terza. I've been copying and pasting all the stuff across as it comes into a Google Doc, so I've got track of it and I can search it and all that sort of stuff. And I'm up to 184 pages on Google Doc. So then I went in and took the spacing out and dropped it so it wasn't spacing like double lines or anything else. And now it's down to 113 pages. But it's been very enlightening in the fact that I don't have a niche. I am a strategic instigator. And I use and it came up with the term of genealogical thinking, because all the tools that I use to research genealogy, I can turn around and use them in business to help find those blocks, those brick walls that we get in genealogy. I help dismantle the brick walls, but now we're turning that into doing it with businesses. And it kept trying to put me in a box. I said, I don't like boxes. I said, I don't even like apartments or condos because they're boxes in boxes. And I said, I like a house because every house is different, every house is unique. And I said, that is who I am. And so we had this very enlightening conversation, like I said, about 10 hours worth. And it's come up with this. So I've now finally put it into a notebook LM and starting to work through that with it as well. But yeah, it is really cool to find out that I don't actually have a niche, because that's just it kept trying to put me into different compartments and stuff. I go, I don't like, no, I don't work that way. So yeah, it was a very enlightening conversation. So use ChatGPT as your therapist. And if you like, I will even put the Google Doc link in the thing so that you guys can go have your own conversation with ChatGPT.
That would be great. You're sort of like a woman of all seasons is the way I would describe it.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's the way I feel about all that I do. I don't have just one niche, and and then I'm trying to figure out which direction to go in. So I can, wow, over 100 pages. Ooh, good for
But
you.
then I would give it my conversation would be about from a line to about this. ChatGPT would be this for a reply. But
It
it was
always chooses. Yeah.
very enlightening.
Yeah. ChatGPT always chooses this at least 1.5 line spacing between everything, including every single bullet.
So you take all of those out, and it went from 184 pages down to 113. And I'm still having a conversation because we've now moved from this is who I am, this is what I encompass. And it says, oh, you've got this genealogical thinking. And I turn around and says, yeah, but I can't use that because nobody will know what it means. I know what it means, but nobody else will, because I'll have to explain it. And I said, I don't want to explain things. I want to be able to give a simple one sentence thing that kind of tells them what I do and asks for more inquiries, but kind of gives them an idea. And I can't find the line that it gave me. I'm going to go through the 113 pages to find the line that it gave me. But there's the prompt and the link in the chat there that will take you to that. The first page is the basic one. The second page is, once you've got everything established, is the advanced one.
Yes. Yes, and I promised Helen that I really want to do it. However, today's the last day of my 8-day sprint, and in order for me to stay focused, I deliberately didn't do that. So,
and it is a time-consuming thing. So allow yourself certain times. Put a timer on, because the time will fly by. Once you get in a mode, if you've all had brainstorming conversations with ChatGPT, you know how quickly it sucks time, and you totally lose track of time because you're just so focused on. It's probably the only time I was actually focused on anything this week. But have fun with it. Have fun with it.
Thank you, Helen. That's going to be fun. Gary, you have your hand up.
I do. And, I've been using ChatGPT, Claude, mostly Claude and ChatGPT, bouncing back and forth. Because I've got a free account on Claude, it's giving me better results, but it also, I overload it and I have to stop using it. So I use ChatGPT and then I pull from there into Claude to save my time on Claude. But on the sitcom, I'm basically, my treatment is done. It's about 8 pages, which is just about perfect. I had Claude do the formatting and it came out beautifully. But now I said one last time I'm going to start reading it, and I just kept finding all these things to refine. I mean, rewriting is rewriting, right? So I'm rewriting it, and it's coming out really clean. I'm really excited. The thought I had when I go to the treatment is just like the executive summary. If I start doing an actual script again, which I failed at miserably the first 2 times, I'm thinking of having well, I like the concept of a writer's room. That's where I've been using the chats, but I'm thinking create different personalities, from your group, from this group, I'm getting the idea of create different personalities so you can have the the guy who's razor sharp, the guy who's funny and just brings in all kinds of crazy ideas. And I'd like to do that. And then and then as I'm on this call, I just had another thought. I've seen people have different chatbots actually talk to each other and interact and have conversations verbally. And I was thinking, what if I could create characters in different chatbots and actually set up a scenario and have them run the scene like they're real people talking and they know who they are, and just let them do it and just record the results, and just you could just do that a number of times and just generate whole scenes using AI chatbots. So that's a thought. I don't know if I'm going to get to that, but I don't know. What are
I
your thoughts?
I think that would be hilarious, and I'm very sure you can do it with AI agents. And Helen, do you already have some experience with this?
I'm sorry, I was slightly sidetracked. I was
Oh,
getting...
okay, sure. No
So
problem.
what was the question? Experience with the
Um,
chatbot?
well, different agents. Gary wants to set them up where they're doing their own comedy scenes, basically.
I haven't done anything with agents.
Okay,
Well, I
okay.
know how many agents, because I saw a buddy of mine's son who's like 11 years old just set up a little scenario test case where he had different AI chat, verbal chats talking to each other, and he defined the roles and he just had them create engage in conversation. And so it just kind of went, it went on its own. And I just thought you could set up a comic scenario and define different characters and give them a voice, and then just let them interact in ways that you might find very entertaining and very creative, because you're not trying to write dialogue. You're just letting the AI create it out of who the characters are.
Yes. Well, I personally haven't experimented with it, but I suspect there's going to be some great tools out there for doing that. So, oh, I like what Peggy's suggestion is. Did you see it in chat?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I just sent him. I just had the idea to this morning, so I just sent him an email because he did do a thing, and I'm sure he'd be more than happy to hire himself out. So yeah, that's a great idea, Pig.
We've
Yeah.
been saying for years, if you need to know how to use a social media platform or anything else, hire a teenager.
Yeah,
Do you have teenagers in your house? Get them to do your social media for you, because that's the world that they are growing up in. That's how they know it. I mean,
yeah.
I sat down one time, and this was years ago, and my oldest niece said to me, she says, "Oh, you need to be on Instagram." And I turned around and says, "I have no idea how to use that tool whatsoever. Don't even know how to set it up." She says, "Give me your phone." She had my account set up in like minutes.
Great.
And I says, "Well, how do I use?" I says, "Okay, I've got it set up now. How do I use it?" And she sat there and gave me a tutorial right there and there on how to use it. Been using Instagram ever since.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So for
hire a teenager, or in this case, an 11-year-old, a preteen.
Terza,
This is
did
the
you
world
say?
they are growing up in. They will be fluent in it.
yeah.
We have to learn a new language. They
Yep.
are growing up learning that language as they grow. So take advantage. Well, don't take advantage of the kids, but
Well,
utilize their service, utilize their talents that they are learning.
and Terza, did you say vid AI was a? Did you mention that briefly? Was that
No,
the
it's VidIQ,
IQ?
VidIQ, and it'll basically help you with your YouTube channel. I will, if we have enough time today, I will definitely share what I've been exploring with it, because I'm loving the free version, and I'm this close to upgrading to a paid version, but even the free version is already amazing. So um, yeah, Sarah.
Did you say IQ or io?
Oh no, it's here, I'll type it in vidIQ dot, oh, I don't know if it's I'll put .com. I don't know if it's I put it in the chat, vidIQ, and I don't know what the ending is, if it's .com or .io.
Oh, okay.
So Sarah, go ahead.
Well, okay. So I have also been loving Chat and Galaxy with all its little ice cream flavors, if you want to call it that. Mostly it's been very interesting. I'm doing a 25-week webinar series, and it's just, to me, it's mind-boggling how quickly chat and enables me to put out content and organize what I'm doing. In fact, I think sometimes, and we've talked about this, I think sometimes chat's ahead of me and my brain is trying to catch up. Um, but this webinar series, I realized there were so many tasks that I needed to do or have someone do that I needed some kind of system to organize it. So I started making an Excel chart, a spreadsheet, and then I thought, well, wait a minute, let me just put this in chat, and I did, um, and so I told chat exactly what I wanted to do, lay out the tasks on the left side, left column, and across the top. The very top line was the date. The next line was the name of that week's webinar, and then the next row was the number of the webinar, like it's 3, 6, 8, or whatever it was, and then in the cells below it, chat took it one step further, and each cell had a drawdown menu, a drop down menu that said, not started, in progress, completed, not applicable. And I'm like, whoa, the thing that chat wanted to do was do it color coded, and it didn't come through. I tried many times, it just didn't come through. And I'm like, okay, I can, and it gave me the color coding, like in a list. So
Right.
so I just went and color coded it, but it's been really helpful. Most of you, I think, know Ryan. So I've been working with Ryan, and I sent him this spreadsheet. He's like, wow, and so it's really been helpful. I mean, I just love AI. The bottom line is I just love AI, and yeah, I so I'm have not gotten to Marblism yet. And because I'm setting up systems. I heard a podcast or something like that on, I want to say it was Facebook, and it said entrepreneurs are not successful not because they don't have the ideas or the content or everything that goes into being successful. It's that they don't have systems. And
Yes.
that is exactly, yes. And it was exactly what I have been feeling, that I'm just throwing spaghetti against a wall, getting things organized and figured out um, in the last year and a half. However, it's just the systems, like who takes care of what. So with chat, I had chat. I don't know if we did this in a Thursday program with Casey or where it was, but I went into chat, and we had a session on a business plan, and chat set up this whole enterprise. I've now gone from a solopreneur to an enterprise, and we planned out my VA structure, and I mean, it's just like, it's wild. And so then I had to say, to myself, whoa, whoa. And then I said to Chat, okay, what is, chunk this down into phases, and what are my first steps? And so, I'm working on them, but I'm, I love AI. It's amazing.
Awesome.
So, yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
I love that, Sarah, and thank you for
yeah.
sharing that with us, because that's,
Thank you.
I believe that's exactly what it's intended to do. And just so you know, Sarah, it's true that this challenge faces us who are solopreneurs or small teams, but the same challenges are affecting the big businesses as well, and which is why I'm always saying, uh, if you don't have your workflow established first, or at least laid out what it is you want to accomplish, throwing AI at it will only amplify whatever problems you already have. So
Right,
fix your process first,
right, right.
and
And
then
and
AI can help you.
and AI is not the answer to everything. Like everyone's so concerned about AI taking over, all the jobs. But I don't know if it was Emmeline who mentioned something about AI can can create these business plans or financial plans and, structures and all of that. However, it can't initiate it. You
Nope.
still need someone who's got enough, I'm going to say, intelligence to know how to use it effectively. So,
Yes.
yeah,
AI can do the heavy lifting and the structure, but you have to give it the plan.
right, right. Oh, and so I was saying, I have not jumped into the world of marblism, though I am really excited and biting at the bit, as they say, to do that. However, I don't have the systems, and it's so like marblism hands me, leads. What am I going to do with them? What's the system I'm going to follow? So, um, I decided along with Ryan that I just wasn't ready yet. So,
Yes.
and it's interesting to see that I love when there's mistakes. In my funnel, a mistake went out, and I mean a big mistake, but I don't, whatever. But it's great because now it's something just to pay attention to, and so love mistakes. As Tony Robbins says, can I? Constant and never ending improvement.
I love
So
that. How cool
yeah,
is that?
yeah,
Yes.
it's very cool.
Yeah.
So, and I'm
Yeah.
sorry if I went on and on, everybody, but thank you. There's just who can you share this stuff with, So
All of us.
thank
We're
you. Thank
thrilled.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank
You
you.
bet.
Thank you.
You bet.
Yeah.
So now, thank you everyone for sharing. I love hearing what you're doing, and please always come back and share what you're working on. This week has been quite tumultuous for AI news. As Hope alluded to, there was and if you didn't hear about it on the main news or whatever, it's been all over everywhere else. There was a fallout between Anthropic and the Department of War over using AI in the Department of War. But I do want to clarify a couple of things about that. Number one, the CEO of Anthropic uh, basically laid out his red lines for working for having a Claude, that's the LLM by Anthropic, work for the Department of War. And the Secretary of the Department of War um, said no, we're not doing that, and went on then to turn it into a big scandal by saying not only were you invalidating your contract, we're going to make you you're not eligible for supply chain. So any supply chain that uses you will, you know, we won't be able to use as long as it's got Anthropic in it. I mean, it just kind of went really wild and crazy. Okay, that was number one. A lot of people applauded Anthropic, including other AI CEOs, by the way, for taking a stand and holding his ground. Part two, within hours of that, Sam Altman swoops in, basically gives the same three red lines that Anthropic did to the Department of War, and they uh, put him on a OpenAI on a contract. Meanwhile, Anthropic already had a number of things going on with the Department of War, so the military cannot just turn on its heel and do an about face and stop using some AI tool, any of them. As we all know, we get used to using what we've got. So, um, there's going to be a lot more renegotiations. The thing we need to pay attention to is to separate the theater from the actual events and the intentions behind the events. So Dario Amodei, the CEO of Anthropic, is back in negotiations with the Pentagon. Um, OpenAI will continue doing its thing, but the thing that happened in addition to that was what they call cancel culture, and it's hashtag quit ChatGPT. And there was this huge exodus from ChatGPT over to Claude. And Claude wasn't expecting it. I mean, Anthropic Claude wasn't expecting it, so they crashed their servers because so many people were trying to log in. So, um, it kind of turned into a rather dramatic debacle. In the meantime, what that also caused was Anthropic um, launched its latest Claude Cowork, sorry, along with tutorials about how to use them and set them up and that kind of thing. And I don't know if they fixed their login issue, but I think they did because I think they were just overwhelmed. Um, and OpenAI, then seeing that the public relations nightmare it had created, uh, has already launched 5.3 and 5.4. So we now have access to simultaneously 5.2, 5.3, and 5.4. And they do have different levels of work, but great improvements, I think, in ChatGPT. Um, and in the meantime, if you love Perplexity, for example, they've launched uh, their equivalent of AI agents. You can give it tasks to do, and it will go off and figure out how to do them for you. Google Gemini has something similar. It's called anti-gravity. So it's coming at us fast and furious, too fast and furious for me. But if you guys ever want more information or even side-by-side tutorials on how to use these things, I'll put them together and either present them here or just make them available so that you'll, you know, be able to use some of these latest and greatest. But what we're already doing here is fabulous. Keep working with things and exploring, break them or figure out how to make them work and then come back and share them with us. And we're going to keep pushing the edges of the frontier.
Terza,
Yeah.
what I didn't understand what you said, how ChatGPT was raised the ire of the community. It sounded like all they did was just go in and make a pitch and it was accepted. So why did people look at that, with negativity?
Um,
Can I say something? What I would,
Go ahead.
if you don't mind, Gary, what I would say is they had drawn the red line with Claude, and the Department of War said no, and then Altman came in and said the same thing, and then that was okay. So how do what's your criteria for one versus the other? I mean, Tears, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that just is what occurred to me when you said that.
Basically, Claude or Dario Amodei of Anthropic, one of his was he didn't want Claude to be used to do surveillance on the American people. That was one of his red lines. He was okay with Claude being used to surveil foreign foreigners, other countries, but not the American people. And I think that was one of the three red lines that he had drawn that the Pentagon said, you can't tell us what to do with it. And then Sam Altman came and did the same thing. And the only thing I read behind the scenes from the various newsletters I receive is that Sam Altman maybe is a better knows when to smile and Dario doesn't. I don't know, but Sam Altman plus other AI companies stood behind Dario and said, if he doesn't want his software to do this, then he shouldn't be made to do this. And so he doesn't have to have a contract with the Pentagon, although, like I said, they actually are working on it. Um, but to then go further and say, he should be, his company should be banned from everything in the US was just kind of ridiculous. So that's where the other AI CEOs said, hey, come on already, this is dumb. It'll work its way through, but right now it's very dramatic. So,
What would we do without drama in the world?
So true.
in the meantime, the craze that's sweeping the AI world is all about the AI agents, which is why you'll probably hear me talk about them a lot. OpenClaw uh, has been growing by leaps and bounds. It's like the #1 app available on GitHub, which is a developer hub. People are buying Mac Minis. The Mac Minis are flying off the shelves. So Apple didn't have to do a single shred of advertising about Mac Minis. What happened was somebody put their OpenClaw on a Mac Mini, $600, by the way. Just, for the Mac Mini, the OpenClaw is free, and gave it some voice commands through WhatsApp chat. And overnight, it went off and did a whole bunch of actions on the user's behalf. This is where we'll be going. The huge issues with OpenClaw are the lack of guardrails and lack of security. And in a time of crypto attacks all over the place, I'm getting zillions of spam calls every single day that T-Mobile is supposed to block. It does label them, but it doesn't quite block them. Anyway, just saying, um, we need the guardrails. And so there are I'm not prepared yet to go buy a Mac Mini to do this. However, I will take the time to learn some AI agents and what they can do for me, and then teach them on what they can do for you. So
And the Mac Minis were just because it's a low-cost platform and somebody happened to pick one and did some cool stuff with it, but you could do it with any low-cost platform, yes or no?
I don't know. I've only heard about the Mac Minis. I don't even know if this is available on Android machines.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It might be, but the Mac Minis are just convenient. They're like this big and $600. And you can, if you're going to play with this, you can give OpenClaw complete, let it take over the Mac Mini, and you talk to it through WhatsApp or Telegram, versus downloading it on your laptop and saying, "Here, have access to everything, my bank accounts and everything else." Eh, I'm not ready to do that. So that's, I think, why the Mac Mini took off versus, a laptop or anything else. There are people now doing it in the cloud. They are doing it on their laptops. People are publishing skills. They're publishing guardrails. And this is all free. That's the thing that's also super interesting is nobody's charging for any of these things unless you want to pay for tutorials and that sort of thing. But the software, it's free. You can go over to GitHub and download it and do it. So, okay. And as far as privacy, yes, I think we gave up our privacy when we came on the internet. Nevertheless, I don't need people to know all of my financial details or anything else. I'm a public figure. I don't have privacy. I don't worry about that, but that doesn't mean they're like my health records and that kind of thing. That there's stuff that's genuinely mine and I don't need to share. So that's how I say it. My opinion. So, all right. We actually have a few minutes left. We've had a really super engaging conversation. Helen, do you, first of all, I would had asked Helen to share about SubMagic, even though it's a project program she has used for videos. Would you like to hear about SubMagic? Sarah posts, can I talk about agents? How about if yes, I can. How about if I make next section specifically devoted to agents, and I will share with you what I've learned. And yeah, so I see Peggy giving a thumbs up as well. So
I just wanted to ask, how do you get to GitHub? How do you access that?
that's a really great question, and I will bring that back next time.
Okay.
It is a developers hub. This is the things that I will talk about. I will make as simple as possible, but we'll be more going into the developer side. What I find interesting is the developers who are doing a lot of this work will tell you, "Oh, how easy it is. Now you can just use English instead of a programming language." That's true. What they're saying is true, but they're still looking at it or coming at it from a developer mindset. For those of us who aren't developers, just because they said it was that easy doesn't mean it is. There's a number of steps to go through. They're all easy, but you have to go through them in order. So, yeah, yeah. And Emmeline posted she would be uh, love a short tutorial on vidIQ, and Gary posted for Marcy to ask AI about GitHub. You can do that as well. So, yeah, I like what Peggy wrote. They said go high level is easy. Really? For whom? Yes. Well, I will share with you. I agree with you, Peggy, on one level that I have found go high level extremely frustrating. On the other hand, this week, because of the sprint I was doing, one of the suggestions was to set up a pipeline in Go High Level. I had never done this before, and I wasn't even sure how it worked. Although once I got it, I did get it. So what I did was in my Atlas browser, which is ChatGPT's browser, specific browser, I opened up my Go High Level. And then we're in the upper corner where it says Ask ChatGPT. I clicked on that. And so now what I have here is a screen showing me what's happening in my Go High Level account. And a screen next to it is basically a chat window where ChatGPT can see my Go High Level, what's on my screen. And I said, okay, walk me through this. And it didn't do it flawlessly, I will say that, but it was enough where I could go find the things and I would it took me 5 or 10 minutes maybe to set up my very first pipeline in Go High Level. And basically it's if you've ever seen tasks like a task per card, you know, or stages of a workflow, let's just say, and when you finish a workflow, you can grab the card with your mouse and you move it over to the next section. So to indicate you've moved that task into the next phase and the next phase. So in other words, if you were doing a business workflow, you contacted a prospect, they get added to your email list, so you can grab that card and move it to the next section that says that person's been added to the email list and now you need to start sending them emails. So you send them emails, and once the person says, "Oh yes, I'm interested, let's get on the calendar." Once they do that, you can go, "Oh great, now we have a meeting," and you move that to the next card that says create meeting with person, with prospect. So each stage of your sales process is now identified in a pipeline. And as they go through, you know where each of your people are in the pipeline. That's what it is. It has different names and other tools. And like I said, I'd never even set one up before. And with ChatGPT's help, that made it much easier. So,
That's a
all right.
wow, Terza. That's a wow. Wow.
Thank you.
Hey, Casey gave us that. John Lover gave us that. We have a spreadsheet on, I can't remember what it is, but when you make the calls to get your appointments, it's on
Yes.
a piece of paper that you print out.
Yeah.
But we got that, 3 years ago?
Yes.
It's been around for a long time. Now you can have chat fill it out for you instead of you printing it and then doing your checklist.
Peggy,
Exactly.
is that laps? Is that what
Yes.
they
Yes, that's it.
okay.
Thank you. I was looking for it and couldn't remember. That's
L-
exactly what it is laps, except now you have chat doing it for you.
Yes. Or
And I guess
helping you
if you're
set it up.
using the Marbleism receptionist, maybe she could fill out the laps for you.
Oh, she can at least set the appointments for me, which is just fabulous. So I have it set up. I haven't nobody's called the phone yet or emailed Eva, but it is available. So if you maybe in the email I publish after this, I will ask you to just take a test run, call my phone number, not my phone number, but my receptionist phone number, and talk to her and see how far you get, including I'd like to make an appointment with Tirza and see if she'll do it. And then the other is the email. You can email me and say, put in the subject, I'd like an appointment with Terza. And she's supposed to go to my calendar and set it up. So, oh yes, I'm happy to do that. Um, plus I want to see how it works and if it does work.
I had my first call yesterday from an AI bot.
How
It
did it
was
go?
very interesting because like I answered the phone and then there was this pause and this voice comes on and goes, "This Helen?" I go, "Yes." And they go, "How are you?" And I'm like thinking, is this a spam call or not? Because I didn't recognize the number. And I went, "Fine." And then there's this pause and it's like, "Oh, that's good." And then it goes in, and the reason I'm calling is da 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 da. And I just went, "I'm going to stop you right there." I said, "I'm not interested," because it was asking me to replace my Windows. It was it came through on my US phone asking me to replace Windows. And this is what I hate about spam calls is that um they don't look to see, do you own the house? Are you living in a house or are you living in an apartment? They don't pre-qualify before they call. They just randomly call people. And I'm going to stop you right there. Please remove it from your list. Thank you very much. And the thing's still talking. It didn't even recognize the fact that I had interrupted it. It just kept talking. So I just hung up. And I was like, okay, that's my first AI bot call. Wonder how many more of them I'm going to get. But yeah. But yes, that was very interesting to have that interaction and it not recognize when you're interrupting it. It just
Wow, I've been getting those for 2 years, Helen. I'm amazed that's your first one.
How
It's the
did you
first one that was very obvious it was a bot calling.
how did you recognize that it was a bot
The
call?
delay in time. Because usually if you're interacting person to person, like if they turn around and say, "How are you today?" and you go, "Fine," they go, "Oh, that's great," da, 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 like immediate. This one was I went, "Fine." "Oh, that's fine. That's good." It took when it would wait for your response, and then it had a lag time of how long it would wait for your response before it went into whatever the spiel was. Whereas if you're doing human to human, it's instantaneous.
Yeah, Marcy, if you want a real quick way, give it a response that it's not expecting. You like if you say, "Well, why are you calling?" and then it waits 3 or 4 seconds before it responds, then you know it's a computer because it's got to, oh, it didn't say fine, or it didn't say yes, and it's got to come up with a different response. So that's what I always do. I always say, who's calling? I never answer their question. I always try to derail the conversation, ask a question, put them on my terms. Is this Gary Payroll? Who's calling? And then if they just start their spiel, you just hang up because it's a robot.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks, Gary. Thank you.
We've had my husband and I have any number of calls of people who want to buy our properties. And there was one, the person, whatever, the bot, left a voicemail on the phone, and my husband played it out loud, and I said, that's Chat GPT. It was the Chat GPT voice. It was the cadence that Chat GPT speaks in. And I don't know if they they had pre-recorded responses of Chat GPT doing this to specific questions, but I said, that's not a person leaving you a message. So life gets very, very interesting. Don't click on any links from people. If they give you a link in an email and you think it might be legit, don't click on it. Go to your browser and type it in yourself. Or call the company and say, "Did you send me email?" Seriously.
And always look at the domain name, not the subdomain name. Look at the domain name. And if the domain name looks legit because it really belongs, just type in the domain. And that's the first thing is if you're not sure, get rid of all the crap in the URL except the domain name
Mhm.
if it looks good. But if it's like verizon.xyz.com, then they put Verizon in there just to fool you, and the real domain name is the .com or the whatever. So yeah, be smart.
Be
And
smart.
always you open it in an incognito window. Don't open it in your regular browser. Open up an incognito window and put it in there
That's a great tip.
I have
because
a
then they can't track
question.
you.
Yes, Peggy.
Is there any reason to not have your bot identify itself, saying, I am the assistant to whatever company. I am a bot assistant to the company.
The
Is there a
better,
reason
the
why
better
you
one.
can't-
Yeah, the better ones do. The ones that are properly set up do that.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I've had that happen, I think one time,
Mhm.
where it actually said, I'm a bot assistant to whoever it is. So then now you know you're speaking to somebody or hearing something legitimate because they're also identifying who they're working for. And then, like what Gary was saying, you could look that up.
And the well done bots, again, if you say, I want to talk to a human, that should always be an out in any conversation. Whether you're doing a chat, a text chat, on your browser, or you're talking on the phone, you must. And if you're the business who set this up, you must, in my opinion, always give the person calling an out. I don't want to talk to you anymore. I want to talk to a human.
And can the bot come back and say, I could set an appointment so you can speak to the human?
That's what it should do.
Okay, good.
And that's what mine should do, which is why I will be thrilled. I will publish it in the email, and ask you to test it and give me your feedback. So,
Okay.
yeah.
And you put that in the chat?
No, I will send it to you in the email.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Oh, on the
the follow-up
If you
email.
are
yeah, the
using a
follow-up.
help chat type thing on the computer for a company or something, and you think it's a bot, most of them identify that they are a bot. You can turn around and say human, please, and it will transfer you to a human. And some of them will come back because this annoys me about the chat program that we use. Oh, can you please tell me your problem so I know who to direct you to? And I just go human. And I just keep answering human and it takes me 5 minutes to get through it. This way, I hate the platform that we use because their help area is so frustrating to use because it's a bot and you keep asking it to go to a human. Yes, we can send you to a human. Well, then send me to a human. No, it comes back with more questions. It takes five
Yeah.
minutes before it actually connects you to a human. And then it tells you that the human will respond within 48 hours,
Yeah.
which is difficult if their system is down
Oh, ouch, ouch,
or you have
ouch.
an immediate problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and whichever human contacts me afterwards, I always let them know. This took me this amount of time to get through to where it was a human, then it told me 48 hours. I had an urgent problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's unacceptable.
So
And
the
they keep going,
companies,
oh, we're so sorry about this, and da 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 da. I says, you have to make it easier. Your AI bot is not working.
yes, the
Yeah.
companies that get this right will win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. So, alrighty. I think on that note, thank you. So we have covered a range of topics today from oh gosh, I don't, can you remember what all we talked about, Ellen?
We had a lot in there.
Okay, I thought so.
We had a lot of different topics. I mean, we went from music to the different AI agents to AI bots to phone calls to yeah, just all there was a lot of chats, prompts,
Marvelism, comedy routines.
marbleism. Yeah, there was a whole slew of stuff in there. This is what I love about this call is that we cover so much
Yeah.
during this time, and it's you never know what's going to happen. You have an agenda. We have an agenda, but do we stick to it? Kind of, sorta. Just depends how things go on the day.
Well, I did look
But
up
the cool
sub
part is that
magic.
nobody on here knows what our agenda is except for us. So if we miss something or we don't cover something, nobody else knows that we were supposed to talk about that, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I did hear you mention sub magic, and I just looked it up, and somebody on the call was talking about shorts, and so it's a tool to take long form and turn it into short form. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
It's not just that. It
Okay.
helps you add B-roll into there. It turns your
Oh,
video
beautiful.
so
Thank
it
you
can
for
add
that.
captions in different styles. You can put photographs and videos into that video while the person's still talking. So I used to use HeyGen to create the video. Then I would upload it into Submagic and add the B-roll portion, putting in photographs, putting in videos into the thing while the person was still talking. And it's a way that you can get down to like the seconds. How many seconds do you want a photograph to show? Do you want to show for 2 seconds or 5 seconds? While the person's still doing the voiceover and the captions are still running.
Is
And then,
is that
but the big change that they had this week is they just announced that you can now upload directly from Submagic to social media platforms.
is that one word, submagic.com?
Yep, submagic.com. Hang on one moment. Submagic.co.
CO.
Yeah.
I'll check that out. Thank you.
But I think vidIQ, with what the little bit I've seen on vidIQ, I think they can do a better job than Submagic does. But Submagic have now added the thing that you can now post instead of, because before you used to download the video, then upload it. Now you can upload it to YouTube Shorts, LinkedIn, X, Instagram. I think there was
TikTok?
another one.
And that's
TikTok.
and that's through VID.
No, that's through Submagic.
That is through
And
Submagic.
what does
Yeah.
a better job than Submagic, Helen?
I think vidIQ, the little bit, I've only looked at vidIQ for a very short time,
Oh.
but I believe they have more features than what Submagic does. Submagic does a great job because I've made some really cool videos through them. But I think that vidIQ has a few more bells and whistles that Submagic doesn't have. But the fact that they can now upload directly to your social media platforms is awesome
Yeah. Wow.
because it takes the steps out of having to download and then upload to each individual platform. Now you can do it with a click of a button.
That is awesome.
Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Yeah.
This is great.
Alrighty, so on our website, I should probably put that link in the chat also. Our website, we have, hold on, let me grab it here. We have our blog. Okay, so let me just show you real quick, but let me put this in the chat. The reason I want to show you what I'm talking about. Here's our website for Zanakin Studio, and hold on, there we go. If you click on, first of all, you can find open office hours recordings will be here. They're a little bit out of date, but I will do my best to get them up each and every week, so they'll be here. The podcast from Helen and I on Sunday evenings. I will also try to keep up to date here, and you will find them all here. And so we'll have an episode library. And then the last thing is under resources. This is our blog page. It's in two sections. One is executive insights, probably more, not probably, intended more for the big businesses and corporations. I'm putting out blog posts for them, but if you also go down, the ones for us are called AI Field Notes, and I will be publishing those here as well. And the reason that I want to share that, let me stop that there, is, hold on here, while I get a little organized. So as we wrap up, we now have a small agreement with everyone who joins us here. If this is your first time, welcome. You're just observing the experiment. But if you've been here 2 times or more, you're officially part of the field research team and you're contributing to our AI field notes. Our only request, invite one curious person to the next session. We'll keep running the experiments and you keep bringing the interesting humans.
And how do we get to the website?
I put it there in the in the chat.
In the chat?
Yep. We will become zanakinstudio.com as we work through some bureaucratic issues behind the scenes with GoDaddy. As those get resolved, that link will become much easier. So, hope.
So Terza, right now your website is the preview dash Zanakin.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's actually,
Okay.
you don't even need the preview. I'm not sure why that copied that way. It's actually Zanakin-AI-Weave.lovable.app because Lovable is the platform that I created it on.
Okay.
So, hope.
I needed to log in on Lovable before I could see it
Oh, that
on
doesn't,
your link.
Oh, no, no, no. That must be
So
because I must have copied the wrong one. But
yeah.
I understand what you're saying, Gary. All right, I will be sure to publish it in the follow-up email because I you should be able to see it without logging in. All
Yeah,
right.
I was asking Terza, it's Hope. I was asking if you use lovable subdomains for your website, or do you send the website like you create a main domain and use the main domain?
You use Lovable to create your website, and
I got that part.
right, right, and then it will ask you if you want to transfer it to your domain name.
Do you do that, or do you keep their subdomain and point your domain to them?
No, no, no. Well, that's a good question. I believe it may just point to your domain name,
Okay,
but
maybe
then
I didn't.
people should be able to access it either way.
Yeah, I got that. I was just asking what's
Yeah,
your practice? Because I know
yeah.
you can use their subdomain as is,
Mm-hmm.
or you can transfer it to your main domain. That's the second option. Or third option, you can point your domain to their subdomain. Either way, you're going to get there. I'm just,
Oh, that's a great question. I think it's the last thing that you said, but I will follow up with that and get the right answer for you.
okay, gotcha.
As soon as we complete the bureaucratic red tape with GoDaddy, then we'll be able to give you an answer to that.
By the way, I know one of the principals at Lovable, or a very high up guy. He meets in my Tech Breakfast Monthly group up in Redding, California. So I'm about to engage with them, and so he's a very good guy, and he's very high on the company. And one of the other people in the group said she got a 9 month tech degree and was working on stuff, and for $26 in a very short amount of time, she did more with Lovable than she was able to get like 2 weeks, working with coding. She was able to do it, and it only cost her $26. So, very high level, referral or kudos from somebody sitting at the table with the Lovable, and he's a C-suite guy at Lovable. So it was pretty exciting.
Yeah, I put in that link that I just now put into the chat should be the one that works. And if it doesn't work, then do let me know, of course. But
And also in the chat is our reminder for the podcast on Sunday. And as a reminder to everybody else in the US, you guys go into daylight savings on Sunday.
And that link did work, Terza. Thank you so much.
excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yep. Yeah, but not before we do our podcast, right?
Yeah.
It is.
We do it. So Sunday morning when you wake up, you will be in daylight savings. For me, it's
Okay.
going to be an extra hour earlier. So instead of being 2 p.m. my time, it's going to be 1 p.m. my time. So yes, because I everything goes back an hour. So instead of starting work in the morning at 9 a.m., I'm going to be starting at 8 a.m. And then in April, when New Zealand goes out of daylight savings, I go back yet another hour. So my 6 a.m. So my 9 a.m. calls will now be at 4 a.m.
Oh.
And in
Pacific
St.
time.
Croix, they don't do daylight savings, so the clocks stay the same. I just have to remember who I'm calling and where they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's gonna be an interesting time because I have a training session that I do at 5 a.m. my time, and in April it's going to become 3 a.m.
Wow.
Yeah, and my 8 a.m. Pacific calls are going to become 3 a.m. Pacific call 3 a.m. my time.
Oh,
So
we appreciate you, Helen.
so I'm sort of like thinking, okay, at least I go back to like from because I usually get on at 5 a.m. for our 8 a.m. calls, and then I'm going to go to 4 a.m. and after the next week will be 4 a.m. and then in April it goes to 3 a.m. So and it stays that till September. So
Oh.
yeah, it's going to be a fun winter for me because we're opposite seasons. So all the whole winter I'm going to be getting up at 3 a.m. in the morning. Yes, but that's okay. It's all good.
All
All good
right.
now. We're out of here. We out of
Night,
here?
Pardon?
Are we out of here now?
We are out of here.
Yay!
Everybody have a great week. Have
Have a
fun.
super fantastic, sparkling weekend.
You too. Have fun.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for everything.
You're welcome.